digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
North London. This isn't just football. This is an identity, pride, and pure chaos. Tonight, we're asking the question nobody can dodge anymore. Is North London still red, or are Spurs ready to flip the script? Because let's be honest, one side's taking titles and the other side's fighting to prove they still belong at the top table. Pressure is building. Yeah, pressure is building. Excuses are running out. Every single game now feels like a statement. From big players under the spotlight to managers with everything on the line. This rivalry is heating up. And again, we are not holding back. This is the North London podcast. And yes, we are 2-man down. Yes, we've got Billy's out with a knee injury. Tequila's out with his back. James is out with a hernia. And as for Brenny, we think he's gone on the piss again. But joining... Brenny, please take that as what it meant, mate. Please take that as a joke. But joining me, of course, tonight, don't worry. Me and this young gentleman here, me and Nick, we may be feigning injury, we may have injuries, but we're still plodding along and fight for the cause. Big up and welcome. It is the North London Podcast, episode number 4. Nick, how are you, bud?
Yes.
We're looking to bring this weekly now and do this as the season goes ahead. We're going to look to bring it as a regular in the summer as well. But Nick, it's always great to do a show. You've got a few things to talk about. But firstly, bud, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm not bad. You know, the sun is shining, the grass is green, and all of that. The weekend's nearly upon us. So I've been feeling rough the last few days, but it didn't grab me as I thought I was. So I'm feeling quite good about that, mate. As for the football front, it's all bloody nerves and which you will emphasize with. You're in the same space. So yeah, I'm happy to be back. Thank you for the invite, and let's get into it.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry we're a bit late. We're talking about computers and how to upgrade my PC. So we're sorry we're about 2 minutes late. We actually it did. I actually asked me, right, just very quickly. Bear the tech talk at the moment, guys. It asked me, did it want me to give it a price? To price it for you? And I tell you one thing, I do like this AI because it gives you the cheap prices. It doesn't make you want to spend a lot of money. So let's put it this way, 300 to 500 euro. And you know what I'm talking about. But it does give me cheap option. We'll talk about that after stream. Let's welcome a few people in and we'll get cracking on. There's a lot to talk about. Big up John 68. Big up Dermo and chat. Big up to you. Hope you're great. John 68. Brian Bonnet's in says, good evening, folks. See, Nick's already behind him. Hope you already do. I hope you're all doing better than Arteta. Exactly.
Hopefully. Yeah.
And then Giant says, when are Arsenal going to join the London manager merry-go-round? But look,
I've got to star that one because I think that's a wider conversation, not just London, but the football landscape is going to significantly change this summer. I think that's a good one to come back to.
Yeah, it is. Look, I want to start. Look, North London, of course, is important to us. Tottenham Arsenal is always important to us where we are. We're both at different parts in different leagues. You're fighting for a title. We're trying to stay in the league. But I think it's worth talking about. I think starting this podcast and starting about Sheffield Wednesday and Leicester and the big clubs that were in the Premier League originally when it was formed back in 92, 93. Even the likes of Oldham Athletic were in the league at the time. And we've seen over the last couple of nights these big clubs being relegated, especially Sheffield Wednesday and Leicester into League
Crazy.
One. And ownerships. And you look what's happened to Chelsea as well with their ownership. You look at Man City with what's happening with them.
Yeah.
Look, let's start. I want to start the conversation on the Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Look, it's my opinion, right, that I feel that EFL have failed these clubs in some way, shape, or form, that all the Premier League has failed these clubs because it's okay giving them a parachute payment to drop down, but that money soon goes away. And then, as I've known by doing my research, the Tottenham might be going to the Championship. There's a massive drop. I think TV money's on around 50, 60 million quid compared to what you get in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, look, I mean, I don't know what you think on this, Nick, but are the Premier League, are they responsible for what we're seeing, like to a Leicester, like a Sheffield Wednesday? Or is the rules not properly put in place for the ownerships to sort of weed out the bad owners?
I think when it comes to the Premier League, I mean, I remember all the fans, cheers, kid. All the fans going absolutely mental about the prospects of my son's just delivered my tea. Thank you. You are the world's best son. That
you heard it here first.
That everybody went all crazy about the European Super League, and it's like that's essentially what the Premier League is. You know, the top clubs have kind of ring fenced themselves, and it's been harder and harder and harder for other clubs to compete. Leicester doing the amazing thing that they did. But I feel like the biggest problem with the Premier League is the application of the right and proper sort of framework they've got for owners. You know, football changed radically when Abramovich came to Chelsea. And he started firing, all of these notes everywhere. All of a sudden, if you wanted to sign any talent and you're an Arsenal, you're a Tottenham, you're a Liverpool, you're a United, well, all of a sudden we're paying more in agent fees and we're paying more in transfer fees because you're right instantly, because all of a sudden the cost of an average player went shooting up.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, well, where do football clubs bridge that gap? If you're going to start, well, the shirt prices go up and the ticket prices go up. And then it's a case of we are struggling to, the average fan then gets priced out. When you're talking, I mean, Arsenal, I don't know what it is for Tottenham, but it's practically 100 quid a shirt.
We're saying Tottenham, we're the highest ticket prices in Europe. But you're saying that, right? And I get that. But if you look what Tottenham's model is, right, how bad it is, how bad Daniel Levy had, and doing the concerts, doing the boxing. You even look at Manchester United under the Glazers. I know Column's just come in. Big up to you. Big up. He says, watching one team bottom the league and the other bottom of survival. Welcome to London.
I know.
Yeah. Just to your point, Colin, and I want to bring you in this conversation, maybe get in the chat and let us know. But you look at Tottenham, right, and what they do. A lot of football stadiums stay empty for the majority of the season.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
Tottenham sort of idea of
I liked
right,
your idea though. Make it an entertainment centre. Make it operate more than those match
no,
days.
no, please don't call it that. Please do not
No.
call it that. We all know you live in the toilet bowl. Please don't. If you're going to start calling ours the entertainment centre, I'm going to call the Emirates the toilet bowl. I worked in that stadium. I know it's a toilet bowl.
Oh, listen, I didn't mean it like that, but it makes sense, doesn't it? To have
Yeah,
more
okay.
income
Yeah,
days.
it does. And you look at Manchester United, right? And you look, they're going to have to build a massive stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, the Premier League itself, I think it's a victim of its own success.
They can't
Because
regulate themselves. They just
they
want
can't.
bigger
Yeah,
and more.
exactly. So, and I don't know, Colin being a Man United fan, I don't know what you think, Colin. So let us know in the chat. But there was a big, wasn't there? Was a big. See, now you've started it. Now you see, yeah, very funny. How bloody are you two? Right,
Sponsored by
play,
Andrex.
yeah, you play in the toilet bowl and he plays in the shithole. One of the two. Do you know? I can get my own back. We all know Old Trafford is falling down. Do you know there used to be the song "London Bridge is Falling Down"?
Yeah. Old Trafford is falling down. Yeah.
Old Trafford is falling down. Two can play that game, bud.
But I mean,
big up to you.
But you're on a really, I think you're on the vein of a really big problem in football. You look at who would have thought the biggest. They're not the biggest club. I know there's this argument. Yeah. Liverpool are the biggest club because they have.
I
they had the most titles. No, they went into the Premier League era of the most titles and the most European Cups. Yeah. That's why I felt like under the Fergie era, they did become the biggest club. I think they was on a par with Everton with the amount of league titles they had when they went into the Premier League era.
Yeah,
and then it's like, what their ownership has done to that club is absolutely despicable. And this is what the rich do. They fund their enterprises by using other people's money. Let's not buy United. Let's just use debt to claim ownership. And it's just kind of like what they're on the precipice, the struggles they've had should never be for United. That was all self-inflicted by the ownership. Absolutely despicable. And then you have a look at what Chelsea have been doing. And then you have a look at what City's been doing. We're all just a season or two away from being the next Sheffield Wednesday. We really are.
Are we a season 2 away of being the next Serie A? Because look what happened to the Italian teams. And we
in the 90s,
when you and me grew up, Nick, growing up, Italian football was the big thing. Channel 4 had it every Sunday.
Yeah,
and
Italian,
Do you know, it was the big thing, wasn't it? Players were leaving the Premier League to go to a Serie A. David Platt was going to Sampdoria. Gazza went to Lazio. You had Liam Brady went for AC Milan, I think, back in the day. You had Graham Souness was going over there as well. Do you know? You had what was the name of that striker? Tony. And what was
Tony Yeboah? No, Tony Yeboah. George Weir. That was the one that I was just like, wow.
He played for Rangers as well. Tony something.
Tony. Not Cascari. No. Big guy.
Yeah, you know who I'm on about. I can picture him, but I can't think of his name. But you look at the Premier League now. It's when Abramovich come in, started paying out all the big money. Then the players started coming over. Well, this is where the money is.
Yeah.
But you look at both North London clubs. I'm just really surprised that Arsenal haven't tapped into what Tottenham did. Because you've got a stadium big enough to do that. But
yours was purpose built for it. You built that with it in mind. Yeah. You built that with that in mind. Ours was rich by the old Etonians, and let's just give a place for the commoners to come and watch football. We'll put a load of seats in, and that's good enough. They had no more imagination than that. At least you guys kind of had a look at it and thought, well, what can we do with this? If we increase the amount of days we can earn revenue, then it pays for the stadium quicker. Yeah. So that made sense.
But football regulation, we know it's the government want to bring it in. I think it's been passed into law now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has it. But the Premier League don't want that to happen, because they're going to find all the little brown envelopes allegedly are being pushed around the Premier League.
Okay, not, but it is though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
And do you know what? And I feel sorry for the fans, mostly like of Man City, who are going to get done. We all know they're going to get done at some point. I don't feel sorry for the Chelsea fans because I just don't like Chelsea, so I don't feel sorry for them. I mean, I can remember the days that Stamford Bridge was up for sale.
Yeah,
back in them days, but
Matthew Harding days, Matthew Harding and Ken Bates days. Before that,
Ken Bates. But I just feel the likes of Tottenham and Arsenal, especially Spurs, we did have the right idea, but we executed it wrong. I think we didn't put the football first. We put the entertainment first and the football second, where we should have put the football first and then the entertainment. So if you think about it, right, you look at Arsenal when they were in their hype under Wenger. You were winning stuff, right? You look at Manchester United under the Edwards family, constantly winning. What does that bring in? Money. What does money bring in? Sponsorship. What does that bring in? A better recognition of your football club. Man United back in the day were probably the richest club in the world.
They in terms of commercial, they were like their football and their trophies they won speaks for themselves. Yeah. But what they done off the field before the tin pots got involved with them was amazing. They were going out far east, and the way that their commercial section worked, everybody else was like, oh, and it was just they got it. People at United got it, and they went for it. This is why I don't buy all of this about City and their turnover. United worked so hard for a decade or nearly 2 decades by the time their success came to an end, but it was like a decade. And they built that. They built that when the Premier League was ended. That's why I don't believe that City's over. It's just like nonsense. I think when it all comes out, it'll all come out. But United are an animal because their global footprint is so big. It's like honestly, it's still are. Of course they are. But you look at Chelsea and you have a look at their socials. You're telling me not half of them are Russian bots. They don't have that global impact all across the world to rival United or Liverpool.
Yeah. I know, and you're right, but I hate to say it. After them two, Tottenham and Arsenal, or Arsenal and Tottenham, whichever way you want to put around it, I think so the next biggest club's going, because you look at our fan base. Tottenham, you look how many people
globally you're bigger than Tottenham. Chelsea in terms of actual real figures.
Yeah, we're bigger than Chelsea.
I would imagine your online movement. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
I agree.
I'm talking about your online movement. I honestly believe that you are bigger than Chelsea. I don't believe all of that. It's too easily manipulated now. It's like I think your global movement is bigger than City's. I do. I believe they're still reaching.
I do. And you look at both clubs, Arsenal and Spurs, or Spurs or Arsenal, however way you want to look at it. But from my point of view, I think behind the Man Uniteds, behind the Manchester Uniteds, behind the Liverpools, I think us as two football clubs are the biggest clubs in England. And we do have a massive following. Maybe we don't have the massive overreach following like some other clubs do.
I feel we are definitely number 3. We competed sporadically with United and Liverpool, but they are the big 2 clubs they've always been, like, historically. And then Arsenal were the biggest club in London, in London. And it was just, and I'm not sorry, I know I'm talking to a Tottenham fan, and it's not a needle thing. But in terms of, no, it's not from, I don't, this is just talking football. And I do believe, like, Everton were right up there as well. Just before. And then you had, like, people forget, like, Forest and all of that sort of stuff, and their success at back-to-back European trophies. And I'd easily rank Arsenal 3rd but then it's kind of like we've landed one of recent. We landed one, what was the Europa League? And that was the Cup Winners' Cup. And we got to back-to-back finals. One we won, one we lost. We got to a Champions League final. We got to a couple of Europa League finals. But we've never landed those big honours that would really kind of say, right now we're going to try and attack the top. But let's face it, United have got 2 now, I think. And Liverpool got 6.
See, you saying that, we have to go back to the early 60s, the early 70s, and the early 80s to prove when we were a big club, when we were winning things consistently. Do you know, we were the, do you know, during our history, right? First team to win the FA Cup as a non-league side. We were the first team in the last century to do the double. We were the second side twice to win the FA Cup back to back, 61,
Right.
62 and 81, 82. I think the team before that, I think it was Burnley or Blackburn were the first team to do it the last century. And then you fast forward to the early 2000s and the late 90s, and you look at the rivalry Arsenal had with Manchester United, Wenger and Fergie, and we were struggling in the leagues. And then there was a tip again that Tottenham were then starting to. We never got over the line with Pochettino, but we were challenging, and Arsenal was starting to struggle. And now it's flipped again, where you guys are now challenging and we're struggling. But the problem with you guys, and I think where you got it right, was you stuck by the manager, even if you don't like Arteta, even if you don't like him as a
coherent squad.
Yeah, but you've added to it every summer. You've said, right, we're going to spend 200 million this summer. Okay, well, I'll tell you, if we spend 200 million, what we're going to do, we're going to drop 100 million for the trader, who I'll never name live on air, the traitorous little git from West Ham. We're going to drop West Ham, give them a monkey. And then we're going to spend 20, 30, 40 million on about 5 other players. That will fill out the squad. But there's your major signing. When we go out the transfer window, it's like, what do we do? Well, let's go and spend 60 million on Dominic Solanke, who's not a one of the best Premier League strikers, I'm sorry. And we don't seem to do what you guys do. You guys
but you did start to, because we went out there. I mean, you've got to remember, we're going quite a few years back now. But we went out and we got Gabriel Magalhaes. We got Martinelli. Who? We got William Saliba. Who's that?
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? We went Kieran Tierney. We went, all of these sort of, we weren't shopping at the top table, and we never really have. We never have. Henri, we signed Henri and Vieira. Who were they?
French. One of them was at Monaco, I think.
Yeah, one of them was at Monaco.
Very well. Playing on the left wing.
And it was kind of like we never have dined at the top table. The biggest name I feel like we ever signed would have been Dennis Bergkamp, and that was unusual for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got David Platt and Dennis Bergkamp that year. That was just like amazing. I was walking on air. And then maybe Ozil and Sanchez and Aubameyang, but they were still. We never went to like Madrid and went, we're taking your best player. We took players that were not wanted anymore. Do you know what I mean? So we've always been that sort of.
But also, if you think about it, Nick, as well, you look at the bigger clubs, the Liverpools, they have the pull of doing it because they have the history and to back them up. You come to us, you come into a club that's well known. No disrespect to Tottenham and Arsenal. I do feel we're the biggest clubs in London. We're ahead of Chelsea. I think we're ahead of West Ham. Colin here put it, a big up to you, Colin. I have starred your other comment, by the way. I am going to get back to it. We've starred your other one as well, Greg. We will get back to it at the end of the podcast. But it says here, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Leeds, United, skip spots, then you get to City. I think, seriously though,
Can I just put something out there? Because I really dislike City, and it's not the four in a row. It's not that. It doesn't help. It's that if you're a City fan and you happen to come across this and you went to Main Road, my beef is not with you. Okay? Because I remember when it might have been you had 2 relegations. I can't quite remember.
They went down to League One as well.
I remember when you was in League One, I'm pretty sure, and someone fact check me, you had an average for that season of over 30,000 fans turning up. And that's respect. All right. So that was all the way back. And then your success happened. But I feel like the modern day City fan has come later. like the Chelsea fan. If City fans, a lot of these fans, were a little bit younger, they would be Chelsea fans. And if the Chelsea fans were a little bit older, they would be
There'll
City
be a
fans.
City fan. But the problem is, the older fans that remember them days are dying out. Do you know what I mean? Them fans that remember going down to League One, that remember winning their playoff final and penalty shootout and watching the rise of City, they're dying out. They're disappearing. And then you left with the fan base where, and it's like our fan base as well. It's like United's fan base, Liverpool's fan base. The fans, the older fans that know what it was like pre-Premier League, they're going. They're dying out. And it's only left with that fans that just know Premier League. There's fans of Tottenham that don't know anything barring it.
Now that's what I was going to say to them. I remember when I started supporting Arsenal at the end of the 80s, right? And I read back all the way. I used to have my Arsenal books and I used to read about my club because this is the days before the internet. And so I would read and pore over it, and I used to learn about the when we won and how many trophies and the different that we started off as Dial Square FC and our journey all the way through and all the rest of it. I learned about my club. I don't think football fans do. I don't think that happens. I don't think they know about the history of the clubs that they're picking. They don't know. It's like Chelsea fans going, "This isn't our club," and it was like, well, for a long time, for 50 odd years, that is your club. It was the Russian wealth that came over to sports wash and influence that turned you into a winning machine. Without that, you struggle to compete. So,
I mean, I get it, because also, look, you and me know a history of our football club. I'm going to read that out in a minute. City fans are just United fans who couldn't get a season ticket at Old Trafford. I remember them coming to little old Doncaster Rovers and getting beat at the Bellevue. Yeah, that's so true. I want to say big up to Killian Kenny as well. Big up, Killian. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And Mash and Joe. Big up to you, Mash and Joe. Hope you're doing well.
I agree. I mean, he's been a bit cutting in some of the things. He's like English fans complaining about all the rest of it. But City, Chelsea, and PSG, I agree with that, because PSG, they've got a bigger budget than like the next top 7 French clubs in the league. I mean, why would you go to play for them? It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
And just to go back to the ownership thing, look, I remember we had Ivan Scholar in charge. He was my first owner. And then, and this is what really annoys me. I can remember Tottenham nearly going to the wall, nearly going out of existence as a football club. And to be fair, Nick, you, me, I don't think there's many years between us, so we're sort of around the same age group. Yes, he is younger than me, but that's all I'm going to say. But you remember the same things I remember, and maybe Brenny as well would probably remember it.
Oh, he goes back a bit further, yeah.
But we nearly went out of existence as a football club, and nobody gets that. These younger fans that only know Enoch don't get that.
Yeah,
they think that relegation's the worst thing that ever happened to us. No, watching your club nearly going out of existence and nearly going bankrupt, and having to be saved by Alan Sugar and Terry Venables. I don't give a monkeys how Terry Venables got his money. I don't care. Terry Venables was whatever he was doing up to. I don't care. They saved my football club. But to have
Venables was a great manager. He was a great manager.
He was a great manager. But to sit there every night, and we didn't have Sky News back then. We didn't have. It was all waiting for the news at 10 or the 6 o'clock news.
I think that helped though, Brent, because this constant in society today, this constant flow of 24-hour news, which has got as much facts in it as like that. Do you know what I mean? It's all opinion, it's all agenda, and it's all we need filler to fill the 24 hours of the daily cycle. And we're trying to create traffic, and we're trying to sell ads and all the rest of it. Doesn't help. It doesn't. We used to go on CFAX and Teletext. That's how I learned that Dennis Bergkamp had been signed. Yeah, exactly. And then we had the stability under Sugar, and then we had him and Brian Dean. I think Scholar was part of it, wasn't he? With the start of the Premier League with Brian Dean and the other top 5, and then Alan Sugar took it on. But the point I'm making is relegation. Yeah, it's bad.
but I've seen worse. And a lot
Yeah.
of fans don't get that. A lot of fans don't get that what I'm trying to say. They just think, well, you're talking absolute nonsense.
If it happened, I don't think it will. I think Forest's running is a lot harder than yours. I think if it happened, it could be the reset that you fans are praying at, like Phoenix from the
It's not a
Ashes sort of thing.
reset, though, Nick. It's not going to be a reset, man.
Don't you reckon?
It's not.
I
No.
reckon you will.
The only reset we're going to get is when the owners leave the football club.
Okay.
That's the only reset we're going to get. All it's going to do is that the big players are going to leave, and as I've been told, and we know the same person, and I use from my sources as well, that it's going to be a busy summer for me, content creating wise. It's going to be a dream. It's going to be like the best summer ever.
Yeah.
But I still think, I'm going to be upset if we get relegated. But I was even more upset thinking my club's going to go out of existence. Who am I going to support next season? Where's my money going to go? Who am I going? I couldn't go and support you lot at 14 or 15 years of age. How could I, after watching my team go out of existence? Who would I support? I won't be supporting.
I'll tell you what, Dermot. Me and the boy are gonna. I live in Bath. Lovely. I come from London. Met my wife at uni. She's from Bath, and that's where we settled. And I'm going down to watch the Romans next year. We're in not practically like Division South below the conference.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm going to focus. Because it becomes the clubs have lost their community and their identity in many ways. And as you said, but then does Tottenham getting relegated make them more appealing to buy?
They won't sell those.
No, I know they won't, because it'll be a shoot like as commodity. You wait till you go. But if the Tottenham fans were vile enough and the right bid came in that was tempting enough, is that when they walk away? Sod it,
Look, it's something like, look, I got news about the Glazers were looking at Tottenham, looking to sell their interest in United to rank. No, this is true. I broke this a couple of
No way, you don't want those leeches anywhere near your club.
I made that plenty clear. I didn't want them, but that was the news I was given. I can't remember. I wish I don't know. It's in my WhatsApp somewhere in the group I'm in with the people I use for the news, and maybe they can put it in, because I know sometimes they do watch the channel. But I was saying to Colin, I don't want the Glazers anywhere near my football club.
No way. Cancer.
I've seen the exactly. And there's a comment that Colin made, this one, but there's one here by Mash and Joe, which I think is a very good. I have started, and I think it's the right time. It said, and then this balls back to the problem: is the Premier League corruptible?
100% it is. Of course it is.
So how can we trust them to do a full independent investigation, or if it was an independent investigation on Man City, how can we trust they're doing a full independent investigation on Chelsea? On Chelsea. But they're very quick at jumping out. Right, we're going to give Everton points deduction. We're going to give Nottingham points deduction.
Exactly. So they get the punishment straight away. And because Chelsea self-reported, they get a fine. It's like, come on. And, it looks like they're not going to get Champions League football anyway. So, because they are going to, if Liverpool win their next game, I think that will find them 10 points behind with 12 points to play for. Fine. But that should have been a points deduction. How can you just dish out points deductions to like Everton and Forest just like that? And the rest of the football, where I think it's really important moments like these for the integrity of the competition. If you are found to break the rules, if it's my club, I'll stand by this. Your allegiance can't come into it. If you have broken the rules of the competition, you are in breach of the rules of the competition. Take your punishment. And that is it.
They're too scared to do it, because I swear to God, right? I know we are going to bring it back to the North London podcast when it is about Tottenham and Arsenal. So I just wanted to start very quickly before we do go back to the middle section of this podcast.
Yeah.
Please, guys, do like and subscribe if you are hearing this. We are on YouTube. Links are in the chat for both channels. Also, guys, we are proudly, this podcast is being sponsored by O'Connell Designs. If you do want your internet, and if you want your YouTube channel or your podcast channel, if you want the latest PDFs, if you want the latest studios, if you want the latest intros, please do find the email below. It is below this podcast. O'Connell's Designs team. Please do. There will be a video coming out for the start of next season. But I'm very proud to announce tonight, Nick, that O'Connell Designs are going to sponsor this podcast for the 26-27 season. We have signed a new contract with them as well. So big up to you guys. And if you use the code TID, I never get this right. TID. Maybe Colin can put the code in the chat for me.
I was going to say, it needs a little QR code that we can pop up and say, click on this, and we can leave it up.
Yeah. There is a 10% discount on your first order. There is a code. I will get Colin to put it in because it is Colin's code. But do please, O'Connell Designs, the best out there, and someone we're very proudly using. Just very quick, move on to North London. There you go. That's
TID 10.
It's TID. To put that in, guys, and you get 10% off your first order. Just very quickly before we move on to North London stuff and the middle section of this podcast. Chelsea sacked the manager yesterday. Are now looking for a new one. We know they're struggling at the moment for things. If you look at Arsenal as an example, where they've stuck by Arteta for 8 years, and we know there's a lot of Arsenal fans want Arteta out. Are you glad in a way that your owners are not like the Chelsea owners that are sacking managers every 5 minutes, and not like Tottenham's owners who a manager never lasts any more than 2 years? But you seem to have stuck to it. Do you think you have the right formula, and that is why you're gaining what you've done over the last couple of years? Okay, you haven't won anything.
Yeah.
And you keep bottling everything, and you're going to bottle this one. But do you think, or would you prefer a mix and match? That's the point I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, we've been having endless debates like this, the Arsenal fans, and it is a case of it's given us a squad that can compete. Now, I have said in chats, will Arteta prove to be our Spanish Southgate? You know, will he prove to be that he took us from the mud, got us all sorted out, done the good back of the house stuff, got the squad and the club focused into trying to move forward, but he's not going to be the guy to get us over the line? I think the problem is when you change you have a transfer window with a new manager, and then you change the manager, you end up with lots of dead wood, right? Yeah, you do. Because not all teams can play, not all players can play all systems. The good ones can, and they can adapt. But there are like, we went to inverting our left back, and Kieran Tierney is a brilliant left back, but he didn't fit anymore, and so he is more up and down the wing, overlapping your winger, putting a fantastic left-footed ball into the box. Could do with him now, to tell you the truth. And but that change of system did not suit him. Yeah, it's like you look at Gyökeres this year. Yeah, it's not the right system for him. It really isn't. No, Eze is not the right system for him, and the wrong system can make really good players look bad. And so that change of manager, I don't think always helps, but there has to be to the point that I think Arteta has probably said everything that he needs, that he's going to say to these players. If we don't land anything this season, right, which is looking likely, I said a couple of weeks ago, it's more likely that you guys escape relegation than us winning the title.
It's getting stale. It's getting stale, isn't it?
It's getting stale, because how do you pick them up again? Like, just you've said everything you've got to say. Yeah. And so at some point, you've got to turn around and go, if you finish second for the fourth year running, I've got to say, it hurts. it's a bloody disaster from not landing something. But out of the 20 clubs in the Premier League, it's, where's everybody else's title challenge this year? Where's Liverpool's? Where's United's? Where's Chelsea's? Do you see where I'm coming from? And so you've got to be realistic. And so, because I do say I'm not one of those fans that are like, to have trophies and it's got to be this and it's got to be that. Because the reality is the budgets are so big and the league is so competitive that it's not realistic. I do expect us to compete, and we are competing, but I do feel like he's maybe taken us as far as he can go. I do feel those players need a new voice.
I do. I agree. Now, you look at Tottenham, for example, right? And you look at Chelsea as well. Maybe Chelsea and Tottenham are probably more linked with sacking managers than we like to admit. But if you look at Tottenham, we had Ange Postecoglou. We had, let's go back. Harry Redknapp and Poch, the longest serving managers under ENIC, 4 and 5 years each between the pair of them. You had Ange Postecoglou come in, finish 5th in his first year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring that up in a minute.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
He's on the wind-up tonight. You had Ange finishing 5th in his first season with a squad that was mainly put together from Jose, Conte, a mixture of other managers put together. And we got 5th, which is good. So you expect in that summer to the start of last season, right, we're going to clear the deadwood. Yeah. We're going to go out there and clear these players out, and we're going to bring players in that Ange wants, and we're going to spend a bit of money, and let's see can we go on. And we didn't do that. What did we do? We sell our greatest ever striker since Jimmy Greaves 4 days before the start of the Premier League season last season.
Yeah.
And we don't replace him. But we end up getting 5th, and that's a great season. Then we know what happened last season with the injuries, but we ended up winning the European trophy at the end of it. And all is good in the world. We had Ange coming out saying season 3 is going to be. I swear to God, he knew he was sacked, or he had been sacked just before that statement. Maybe. I think that statement was a dig at Daniel Levy, because when he said it, the camera went straight to Daniel Levy. And there was no emotion on him. Then you had the thing with Vinay coming in. Then you had the thing of Paratici. And we've never done what you guys have done. We've just sat there and said, this will do. I mean, to Andrew's comments in the Overlap podcast, when he said to there is to do is plastered all over everywhere. We haven't been to there is to do. We haven't done that.
It's an empty slogan.
And I look at you and I feel envious of what Arsenal have done over the last, say, 8 years, because you've steadily built a squad. But you haven't sat still in that squad. You've constantly evolved that squad. You've constantly gone out. Maybe not all the players you've bought, Nick, have been right.
No, but
we haven't done that.
It's not for anyone. I think, like, Brenny, it only, it's Dermot, sorry, because of Brenny's name. It only gets harder next year. It's going to be insane. Liverpool are likely to have Alonso and another few key additions, particularly in their defence. That club is going to be challenging. United, I think United are if I was a betting man,
I'd put United as favourites next year.
I would be, even if we won the league, the league this year, right? My money would be behind it, because if United get a Wharton or an Anderson to replace Casemiro, and another defensive, they brought so well on that front line last year. They brought 40 Premier League goals. All of those are now bedded into their second season. With the right manager there and all the rest of it, they are going to be a danger. So the level rises again. It doesn't get any easier.
And there's your point. This summer, they went out and spent 250 million on 3 players after losing that Europa League.
And spent it well.
And spent it well. You look at Tottenham and who they spent the money on, right? We didn't. We bought 2 players in. We've got a PSG reject who we found in the reject bin. We saw him poking up. He says, I want to join the club, so we're going to pick you. And Ange's right. He said it on the Overlap. I wanted A, B, and C. I got A, and I got kids.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't being disrespectful to Archie Gray, and who I think Archie Gray, a lot of people like Archie Gray.
No,
Archie Gray off. he's been one of our better players, and Bergville as well.
Yeah.
But here he is. We're bringing the legend. We're bringing the governor.
Brandy.
But I just feel that we've really missed the trick over the last couple of summers. And if you look at the squad that you've bought and the squad you've put together and the squad we put together, we've still got a mishmash squad. We haven't got a squad that's united in under one manager. And you may be right. Maybe Arteta is getting tiresome. Maybe the players are getting bored of listening to him.
Yeah.
But sorry, Brendan, I'm just gonna mute you there for a minute, bud. Sorry. But if you look at your squad, it's young enough to grow under another manager.
Oh, yeah.
We've got major restructural to do with it. We're going to lose Romero. We're going to lose Mickey van der Ven. They're going to go off. And then
Mickey van der Ven's a bigger loss than Romero.
Yeah, I agree. And if you look, if we are in the Championship, well, we've already got a squad for the Championship. I was watching on the stream tonight. He's right. We've got youngsters that have been playing in the Championship. We've got Mason Milia. We've got Troy Parrott, who I think we might be after to bring back to the football club.
Yeah.
We just don't have a clue. We don't have a plan
game plan game plan to build the squad. Yeah.
And the biggest thing we let go was not listening to Paratici and letting him walk out the football club. Mickey van der Ven, for me, I just feel losing Paratici was the biggest cock-up we've done as a football club. And Vinay, be honest, and I know he was ex-Arsenal, whatever, but Johan Lang and Vinay need to go. If the Lewis family are staying around, then them the two people they're going to have to sack and get rid of, because they've made terrible decisions. All the decisions this season have been, we were too late to sack Thomas Frank. Instead of going in and getting De Zerbi when the day he was sacked from Marseille, we went to get Tudor, who had no experience in the Premier League. So you're already putting Tottenham on a back foot into relegation. Now,
then
just one thing. If we don't get a win on Saturday and West Ham get a win at Everton, get a result at Everton, then that goes out to 5 points. Now, we are going to talk about the final 5 games this season. I just want to ask Brenny a quick question, bring him in.
I'm just going to lose my camera because I'm going to have a quick munch while you're talking to Brenny. Yeah.
And also, I'm going to finish off on this middle segment of the podcast, and then we'll move on to the games we've got left, and we're going to end up there. Brenny, look, me and Nick have been talking about Arsenal and Tottenham and the Premier League as a whole. What's happening over the last few weeks, man? With Arsenal, which you now lose to Man City at the weekend, and you weren't really convincing going through to semi-finals Champions League. Does Arteta for you, is Nick right when he says the players are now getting bored of listening to Arteta?
Oh yeah, they've had enough of it. Maybe not all of them. Probably not the likes of Havertz and Odegaard, who are two players who, they probably have a cappuccino together or go out for a pizza or something like that. But all on serious notes, I think they are, and I think what it is as well. You see, with footballers, they love to play football, and you get a lot of footballers that love to play the right way. And we've seen it over the years, haven't we? Where sometimes you can play some good football. I'm going back through the decades now, and you can also then maybe play a game which you think it's like. Remember, like years ago, say for example, when ourselves and yourselves would go to Anfield in the 80s, and you had to play a different game because you weren't getting anything at Anfield in the 80s.
Yeah.
And but to have that happen on a consistent basis, players will be like, oh my God, this system is just, it's so bad. It's to the point where, it's just, why are we playing this system? And when you get players who probably say, I don't like this system, but it's very frustrating. And I feel, and I'm looking back, not just with the bad runs that we've had, and we've not played. I've worked out we've actually played in probably maybe 10 or 11 Premier League games this season, we've actually played well, regardless of the results. And
Yeah.
it's just disappointing. It's disappointing. I, I am positive that probably 90% of the players have had enough of playing under this manager. And I'll tell you what, you've got quite a few Arsenal fans that say that they like to say there's no one out there, and I think, well, this is a very small world we're living in, then, isn't it? So I feel the players need a new voice, and hopefully it could be one of top quality who's a serial winner, and watch the players get lifted again.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to mute while I'm talking, Brendan, then I'll mute you, bring you in. Sorry.
Of course. Go for it.
Sorry. I'm not being rude. Sorry. I
Big up,
apologize.
Bren. Just wanted to say, I just needed to unmute myself and say, love you, Bren. Love you.
Sorry. I'm trying not to be. Sorry, I'm not trying to be. Column here, actually a very good question, actually. Would you actually take the Bournemouth manager? Brenny, would you take him? Just quickly.
Yes, I would. He wouldn't be my first choice, but he'd be in my top 10.
Who would your first choice be?
My first choice is Luis Enrique.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Nick, where are you on it, bud?
I don't have a first choice to be honest. I see where Brenny's going with Luis Enrique. Yeah. The style of play, three-pronged attack, I completely get it. And with Iriola, I get that as well, because it's a more of an attractive brand of football that I feel that this team can facilitate. I don't think I agree with what Brenny's saying. I don't think they agree with this system. I don't think they like this system. When you're trying to scrape 1-0s and 2-1s, you're always on a knife edge. We said at the beginning of the season with Liverpool, it's not sustainable. You can't play like this. And we've managed to keep it up for nearly an entire season. It's crazy.
It's going to bound to come back and haunt you, isn't it? It's bound to come back and bite you in the arse. Right, guys, this is the last bit of the podcast. So this is part 3. I will be putting breaks into this. So there'll be part 1, part 2, and then a part 3. So guys, do like and subscribe to our channels. Brenny, I'm going to go to you, bud. Your last 5 games, your Newcastle at home, your Fulham at home, your West Ham away, Burnley at home, Palace away. To be fair, you've got the best run-in I think any club could ask for to complete to you to win the league. So I give the same to you, Nick, and then we're going to talk about Tottenham's run-in as well. Sure. So just very quick, Brenny, Newcastle at home, win or lose?
We'll win that, but it won't be a 4-5.
Yeah. Fulham at home?
Also, same. I think we'll beat Fulham at home, but it won't be a walk in the park. It'll probably be a very tough one by the 1 goal. Because there'll be nerves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, don't worry. They're not after Brenny. Brenny's fine. He's just they're not after him. Don't worry. West Ham away.
It was an ambulance. West Ham away. That's the banana skin. I think we'll draw that game. So I don't think we'll win all 5 games.
Damn you! We need you to beat West Ham. Damn you! Burnley at home.
Oh yeah. I think we'll beat Burnley. They're already preparing. They'll be preparing for the championship again, and I think we'll actually give them like a 4-0.
Yeah, and then your Palace away, last game of the season.
Palace away, we're going to win that game. We'll probably win that 4-1, and that will probably be because the championship will probably lose the league, and whenever we do, there's never any pressure on the boys, so they'll
play again.
Yeah.
So you're going okay. So what would that put you on? So you're looking at 3, 6, 7, 10,
13 points.
13 points.
Yeah.
So okay. So you're on 13. Nick, Newcastle at home.
I think we take that, and I think because of where Newcastle are, And I think there's problems with Eddie Howe motivation. I can see us doing it by 2 goals.
Is that breaking news, Colin?
No, I think he already.
Or is he?
hinted
Has
at
he
it.
already re-signed? Ooh, okay. Colin is saying Palace last game of the season isn't guaranteed.
No,
win.
it
They
isn't.
always turn
It
up.
isn't.
No.
The thing about these games, they're all winnable. Let's face it, the table
Yeah.
doesn't lie. They're all
No.
below 12.
Yeah, of course they are.
But it's a case of will we and the temperament. So yeah, I think Newcastle we could buy 2. I just see that as a
Fulham at home.
tight game. That'll be a buy. If we win, it'll be by a goal.
West Ham away.
I agree with Brenny. That is difficult, but in all honesty, at this stage of the season, you've got to go to places like that and win. That'll be the litmus test. That'll be the litmus test. If we manage to go Newcastle, Fulham, West Ham, that will be whether we're going to push it all the way.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we could both win 5 games each. So whoever scores more goals.
Yeah, I think that game will probably say if West Ham are staying up or going down, or if you're winning the title or not. I think that game's got many more.
That could favour us for that. That's the only reason why I don't think. I mean, Arsenal fans have seen it a certain way, but I think if West Ham have got to ensure survival, means they can't sit back. They've got to take it to us.
I would say Burnley at home is 3 points. I agree with Brennan.
I say same here. And I agree with what Brenny's saying. Palace away, we should just have more, particularly if they're in the conference final or whatever final they're currently in. It could be they've got an eye to another game, and I think we could probably. So I agree with that.
Hang on, when the conference are they before the end of the season? I think they are.
Are they?
I think they are. The Europa League finals before the end of the season, and I think the Conference League's the same. I know the Champions League's in June. I think I need to go and double check that.
Yeah.
Just to give my thoughts, I'm going to look. I know I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm going to be independent with my choices here.
Yeah, go for it.
I think you're going to lose against Newcastle. I think the hangover from the Man City thing, I think you might lose by an odd goal. You do bit Fulham.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get a draw at West Ham.
Okay.
I think you're going to beat Burnley. And I think you will beat Palace. So that's...
Okay. So you got some 10 points.
10 points. I just think
so that takes us to 80
game,
points.
Yeah. I think Saturday for you, and I will bring Brenny in. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Brenny. I don't mean to keep muting you, but I'm not trying to be rude. I do apologise. So please, I know. I just feel Newcastle, with the way you played against Man City, I think that game will have more of effect on you than mentally. Then I think a lot of people are going to give credit for. I just feel it's going to have a bigger impact. And it goes back to your point, Nick. Let's take a listen to Arteta. How's he going to bring them up? Because if he said all these things before Brenny and Nick, how are these players going to react to it?
The reason why I would go against that now, Brett, is because, and to Brent, is because at the end of the day, you've got to remember these players, they've got a chance of putting a medal around their neck. And really, what Arteta's got to say, you've got to tune out and get the win done, right? So there's got to be their own accountability as well. What I would say is Arteta, and having to listen to him, going on to next season, completely different. Seeing out this season, I don't see it being an issue. They've got to get it over the line. I agree. And also with you, Brenny, look, it's something you, me, a bit of the old schoolers here, aren't we? You don't have a Tony Adams, you don't have a Steve Bold, you don't have a Liam Brady, or you don't have, or like for Tottenham, a Graham Roberts or a Steve Perriman or a Gary Mabbott to actually do the talking for the manager, to actually give that team talk. I don't think there's anyone in that current Arsenal squad is a Tony Adams type. I don't think player, I think that's the wrong word to use. I think more of a captain in his mould. Do you know what I mean, Brenny? Of an old-timey player. I get that.
Where he grabs the dressing room by the scruff of the neck and say, right, leave it to me, Gaffer. I'm going to do it. So
See, I think Declan and Big Gabs have probably got the. Would you say that, Bren? Are the
I would say
closest we've
Declan
got to
Rice,
it?
Declan Rice
Yeah.
and Gabriel.
Oh, you mean the traitor? Okay, fair enough. It was quick enough to pick England. You know, I've always said it. Look, just very quickly. And this is why. And look, people ask, why are you calling that a traitor? Right. I think it's easier to go and pick England because you know you're going to guarantee to get to a World Cup or European Championships. I think that's easy. I think you would have made yourself a legend by staying with Ireland and qualifying for a World Cup. Look what Roy Keane did. No, seriously, Nick. I'm very. I think you it's more of an achievement to do it with Ireland than it is from England because you're qualifying for every tournament anyway. It's no surprise. Look at Branny on the tube.
Look at him, Branny.
We had Billy on the train. Now we've got Branny on the tube.
Bus. There's a tube strike.
Oh Jesus! So so you think him? So very last thing this on the Arsenal, and then move on to Spurs. Do you guys win the league? Yes or no?
I don't think we do.
No.
I don't think we do.
That is interesting. Here's Colin with his.
Only because the reason why I say that is you've got to have confidence to go and attack in these last 5 games, and we could match City's points total, right? Because they've got tough games too. I don't think we outscore them, and that's the problem.
That's the point. That is a very good point. You're not going to outgun them. Column's points here: Newcastle win, Fulham draw, West Ham draw, Burnley win, and Palace win. So 11 points. Yeah, he's got 1 point more than me. Right, we are going to take that off, and then we're going to end off. I know Dee's still going to love this one. We're going to talk about Tottenham's running. Yes, I will promise I will do your PDF next week. I promise. I will promise. I will do them all the PDF. This is Tottenham. We've got Wolves at home. We've got Villa away. We've got Leeds at home. We've got Chelsea away. And we've got Everton at home. Since you're on the bus, Brenny, do you want to go through Tottenham's last 5 fixtures, starting with Wolves away?
I can do that. No, Wolves away. Well, they're already down, but I actually think you brought that 1-0.
Yeah, that's not good. Villa away.
Villa away. I think you'll fight them. But I think you'll lose 2-1.
Leeds at home.
I actually think you'll win this game. I think you'll win this 2-0. Leeds will have already been safe, and I think they'll probably be on the beach by then.
Yeah, Chelsea away.
They're out of sorts, aren't they, really, Chelsea?
Yeah.
I actually think this could be. I actually think it'd be a 0-0.
And then Everton at home.
Oh, you beat Everton. I think you'll beat them. I think you'll beat them 2-0.
So how many points is that, Nick?
8.
I'd take 8. So you've gone to 8, right? Just going to mute you there, Brendan. Come back to you in a minute, bud. Do put your things on the chat as well, where you think, like Colin did, he went with Arsenal, do the same for Spurs. Nick, Tottenham's last 5 games, Wolves away.
Tough match normally, right?
Yeah.
And I think you have to, and I think I'm saying it because you have to. You've got to win this game.
Right.
So I'm putting you down for the W.
Yeah, I forgot to bring this up, right? This is if we don't beat Wolves on Saturday, this is the record we're going to equal. Their win this one now stretches now to 15. So we've equaled the Swindon Town record of 93-94. We're just one shy of a 1935 record when the club were relegated a year after finishing 3rd in the First Division. It started on the 30th of January when we lost to Chelsea, and it ended the next game. But that was the last game before we did win one on April the 6th. So if we don't beat Wolves, we're now equaling that record, and we deserve to go down. So I just wanted to put that there, that context. If we don't beat Wolves, that is the record we're equaling. Villa away.
I agree with Bren. I think Villa are just Too good. I think you've got to remember we're not talking about Tottenham top six Tottenham. We're talking where we
No.
find you Tottenham. So
Yeah.
I think you lose that. Normally, I'd think you'd give them a game and you'd have a chance of winning it, but no, I don't think you can do that one. Leeds at home.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Leeds were going to capitulate, but what they've done these last couple of games, I don't see you walking away with more than a draw, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Chelsea.
Now, this is the one. Now, this is a weird one. I could see you beating Chelsea.
Yeah, I can.
Because they are absolutely awful at the moment. So I'm giving you Chelsea. I'm giving you the W.
Yeah. And then Everton at home.
You're not going to like this, but Everton are a freaking awkward team.
Yeah.
I'm giving them the win. I think you lose. I think if it goes to the final game of the season, and I can see you not doing it, and I think that's the L for me.
They'll be fighting for the Europe. I just want to bring Brenny here very quickly. How many points do you give us then, Nick?
I've given you 7.
Okay. Brenny, I don't know if you can remember, and maybe I need Philip Brady for this, but there was a very important Tottenham-Chelsea game back in the 70s, wasn't there? When we did beat Chelsea to stay up in 74-75. Do you think it's written in the stars that either Spurs are going to stay up or go down in that Chelsea game? Same question to you as well, Nick.
I think so.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Do you think by Leeds we should know where we are, where Tottenham are going, if we're going to survive or we are?
I think you'll know by Villa. I think you'll know by Villa.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just that West Ham don't look like losing at the moment.
No, I think Forest are the only ones that might help you out.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Look, I'm going to give my thoughts.
Go for it. Go on. Wolves away. What do you reckon, Dirk?
Look, I'm going by our recent history. We only won 1 in the last 5 against them. We did draw 1-1 with them. Do you know what? I'm going for a draw.
Okay, Villa away.
I'm hoping Villa will. I'm going for a win on the idea that Villa will have one eye on the Europa League.
Europe. Okay.
On
Leeds at home. What are you feeling?
Draw. Look, I've been talking to the girls over JYS. They're both, one of them's a Leeds fan, and I was with them the last couple of nights, and the more I talk to them, the more they're really confident how much Leeds are going up. You look at Leeds won the last 2 games. You look at they picked up a draw last night.
Yeah. They're going to come and fight.
I feel Leeds are safe, but Leeds going to want to end the season on the high. And don't get me wrong, every Premier League team is going to want to put Tottenham down.
Yeah.
So I'll go. Do you know what? I'm going for a point. I don't think we beat Chelsea. We never win that.
So you're saying a loss or a draw?
What for Leeds? I'm
Chelsea.
going for a draw. Oh, Chelsea a loss.
Right.
A
Okay.
loss.
And then Everton at home.
I agree with you. We've been shit at home all season. Only 2 home wins. Okay, I'm going for an Everton win, but that only gives. We've only picked up
5 points according to you.
5 points. Yeah, we rarely have to win the last. We have to find 3 wins or 2 wins.
Yeah, I agree with you. You need
the last 5.
Yeah,
I don't think, guys, that I think if we don't beat Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah,
and I know I went for a draw. I think if we lose to Wolves, we're done.
Yeah, we've all got you picking up a point or better there. Yeah. So if you don't, then you're in Wolves. You're in real trouble, because you'll need to win 3 of the next 4, and that is you're getting more desperate. Yeah. Well, look. Hopefully next week, guys, as well. We'll see how we get in with our first weekend predictions, and we'll carry it on. Brenny. Just last question on you, Bud, as you're on your long way home. Are you going into work or going home from work, Bud?
Going home.
Oh, bless you. It's been a long day for you. Tottenham and Arsenal. if Tottenham were to get relegated, would that upset you? From a Arsenal fan, would half of you be like, I'm going to go and troll Dermot? I know you wouldn't, Brendan, because I know what sort of man you are. You're a gent. But would you miss us if we did go down? Would it upset you to see us get relegated?
I think it wouldn't upset me, but it would be missed, and I would miss. I've missed 6 points.
I'd miss the North London derby.
Can I just say you're not a gent anymore now? I'm taking that away from you. You're a rascal.
I would. Of course, I'd miss you. Of course, I'd miss you. I mean, but then you see, with you, you're such an honourable person, well, fan. But it's like there are Tottenham fans out there that back me all the time, but they're your crazy Tottenham fans, and they're the ones that would banter even when we're struggling. If you're struggling as well, when you know what I mean, and it's them that I would banter. I just wouldn't banter fans that Tottenham fans I respect.
Yeah.
Big up. Yeah, I agree. Ask your man next year, who does he support, Brenny? just ask the fella next year who does
we don't talk to each other. You're not allowed to.
Ask him who does he support, actually. Go and ask him. I'll get to Nick. Just ask him who does he support. Just to find out for it. He ain't going to do it, is he?
No.
You don't talk to him in the Look, he's having a good look, isn't he? Hi. Just give him a bit of a wave. Hi. He is. He was looking over the shadow. What's your name here? That question you, Nick. Look, Tottenham and Arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean, us three, we're all good friends and we all banter each other, but we all respect each other. I respect you and Brenny, and likewise, and we know Bobby and Mr. and G and the coach Ali as well. How much would you guys miss Tottenham next season if the worst did happen? How much do you think it would affect normal, sensible Arsenal fans? Do you think they'd be a little bit upset if we got relegated?
I don't think they, to be truthful, Dermot, no. And just like Tottenham fans wouldn't be upset about, they're going to celebrate it. That's the truth of it. They're going to celebrate it. And but the truth of it is, what gets past in certain ways is it's your emotional IQ, isn't it? Yeah. So do you remember when me and you first started talking about football? I said being a football fan is like having an open wound. There's some that just want to poke you in the wound and be a wanker. And then there's others that will
look at him smiling down there. Look at him. He's poking already.
That will turn around and say, "Oh man, this sucks. Let's go and have a pint together." And there's a balance between the two. So I've got family. They are wrong uns, but I've got family that are Tottenham fans. I've got family that are West Ham fans. I've got family that are Millwall fans. And I've got family that are Arsenal fans, And so we're a London family. There's a lot of... there is going to be... but to quantify that...
Yeah.
The rivalry with Tottenham and where we finish and what we do, it's a bit of seasoning on the season. It's a bit of spice. It's and the North London derby. Brent, would you agree with that? It's a bit, North London derbies are the matches you look for, one of the matches you look forward to. And you wear all of that. You like a little bit of seasoning, and you look at, and it spices it.
It's one of the first games we look for, isn't it, guys? It's one of the first games we look for. I don't look personally. I've stated on this channel, Spurs will stay up by 1 point. I've already asked, Column's already clipped that. I think we will stay up by 1 point. Column, just make sure you have clipped that. I think Arsenal are going to miss out the title by a point. I think it's both going to...
Chelsea, we're in your situation than you.
Yeah. I think both games are going to the last game of the season. Yeah. I think it's going to edge on the Palace game and on the... But I do, being honest, and we're going to end off now, being honest, I think the Premier League, the biggest news wouldn't be Arsenal not winning the league. It would be Tottenham getting relegated. That would be
because that's novel. That's new. Us finishing second is not new. It's old hat, But you getting relegated is
hang on. I'd just like to present you with the latest trophy. Nick, I will send this to you. It is the bottle for bottling the league again.
What's that? A bottle of piss?
No, it's actually a bottle of poaching. No, it's not. It's a bottle of orange. Even when we're nearly getting ready,
You guys need to keep it. You need all the bottle you can get right now. You keep it.
Yeah, it does. Right. Well, listen, where can people find you? Brenny, I let you go because I know you're on the bus, buddy, and you're trying to get home. Where can people find you, bud? And where can people find your lovely voice and your lovely football views?
On Brenny K74, you can always find me on there on my channel. I will be doing some content hopefully tomorrow morning and also Saturday for the preview. I want to see if I can get our guy in our chat, John Sinclair, the Geordie, the legend himself, to come on the preview. And you can also find me on Instagram and Grace, and also on X as well.
Brent, I need you to tell us you love us. I need you to say it at the top of your voice as you're walking down the high street.
Yeah, of course I love you. Yeah, of course I love you. Of course I love you, lot, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah.
Look, he's gone down dodgy. He's gone down some dodgy alleyway.
Quick.
Then I'll have the locals. They'll have the locals saying, Ready, where jump on? Yeah, mate, you love. That's probably what I'll get like around here.
He's gone into some dodgy now. A bit like watchdogs.
Anyway, you be safe, Brent. You be safe.
Yeah. Listen, let us know when you're back in.
I'm just here.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. Right. Okay, we're going to do that. Nick, where can people find you, buddy?
Well, both me and Brent appear on the Football Takeover. It's a great footy show, so you can find us there.
It's not takeaway then.
Oh yes, no, it's not the takeaway.
And then the Brenny 74K,
Brenny K74.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that's a great channel. And I'm parts of the Geeks of Muckleby, but it's a dead channel. I'm not doing anything with it. But yeah, you can find me in all those.
You should.
Places. I should. I know I should. I will get it going when I've got the energy again. I'm going to get it going, but I got a bit burnt out with it. I got to like 21K and.
Well, I tell you what, there's me and Tequila. I'll talk to you off screen. We've got an offer for you to make. We want to make you a transfer.
I've got an offer that you can't refuse. Yes.
Yes, that is so true. Right, guys. Yes, you can find me, of course, here on THFC Till I Die. You can all find us on X as well. You can find us on Spotify. Now, this one will be going up with the Irish Lads Talk podcast in the next week or so. They will be going on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts as well. So this will be a weekly thing. We are going to be back this time next week at 8 o'clock with the North London podcast. See how we all got on with this weekend and all the news. North London. Stay there, Brenny. I want a quick word with you after the stream, bud. But of course, it is what it is. This is a Spurs channel. This is not an Arsenal channel. This will always be a Tottenham channel.
We need to change these intros. We need to change these intros and outros.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are going to stay up by a point. But I tell you one thing. If we went down, I would miss the North London derby and I wouldn't change it for a world.
No, of course.
Come on, you Spurs. In the massive cockerel we trust.